Then it started to evolve. What we had after school code club was to sign up early. We began to have a real kind of a range of abilities within code club, and some people were right at the beginning, and some people were finished all of the scratch and moving on to HTML. So what we've kind of done now, with Amos, who joined our school in September, and we run code club together now. We've started kind of differentiating the club. So newbies but work through the scratch program in the exegesis as normal. And we got a lot of Raspberry Pis as well. And we're going backwards. This is why we need to volunteer for the club. This is Robin, our volunteer. And some of the really more able Year 6 coders who just took all this programming in their stride completely, and they run the whole program. Eric and Raspberry Pis making robots, and they entered the Cambridge Pi competition, which was for adults. And they put their robot, they had coded in Python, and they did them against sumo wrestling boards. It was kind of like robots. And they were up against adults, and they came third in one of the competitions, which was really impressive because these were all proper hackers. Yeah, that's how got kind of dismantled. So we had something for the really early stage code, so we're just working through all of them. And then we had something at the end. So this is where Amos comes in for the middle part, for the people.
Yeah, so what we found is that the children, that some of them were moving on, and we thought, well, let's try and make it real. As well as all the coding, we wanted to give them something more concrete. So we've got these tiny little computers called Crumbles. We're also playing, messing around with Raspberry Pis as well. And our next thing is we can get 7 and 8 year olds using these and some simple robot chassis. I think it's just crocodiles on and off easy. They can, 7-year-olds can make cars, can program cars to go around the circuit. It's brilliant, good fun. Kids are loving it. They're taking it to a whole new level.
Yes, we learn a new thing every day.
That's brilliant.
Well, I'm impressed again. They're only next door. Didn't know they were doing that. Everybody except me. Yeah, clearly. Yeah. We're busy doing reading and writing and maths. Fantastic. I was blown away by that. And to hear that they came third in that competition is just fantastic. We're in the section of it. It's fantastic. So well done, you two. Absolutely brilliant. Do you have a break through your day? It sounds to me as if you do lunchtime clubs and after school clubs. Do you get a break?
It's just really good when you've got little girls and everything. These can use more computing at lunchtime.
I know, but there comes a point where you go, oh God, we just need a cup of tea. Isn't it? Fantastic, well done. Next up is Farid. Farid is doing something called using Audio Boom to provide feedback, so I'm really interested in this one.
Yeah,
It's what I think it is.
I started off by saying that it was using audio boom, but as I was kind of in zero on board, actually there's lots of other bits of technology that don't necessarily need audio boom. The reason behind some secondary school teachers using French, Spanish, and French school boys, and it came about a year ago, I suddenly started realising that GCSE for languages, 30% of that is their speaking, is their oral. And I wasn't actually providing any verbal feedback to them other than the little snippet in class, which wasn't really enough. I provided extra written feedback, which was taking up all of my time, and they weren't really listening to and ignoring all the things I was saying, and I wasn't actually giving them any verbal feedback. So I started thinking about how I could make this a bit more part of everyday life. And using technology really to help me start an audio boom. And then I started thinking about why and how this could apply to other subjects in different sectors as well. And certainly it's helped my people build some confidence in terms of they're actually getting corrections on their pronunciations, for example, but also think about other subjects they could get some positive reinforcement for that they're obviously providing that personalised feedback each pupil is getting, and me talking, giving them some feedback. It's obviously a case of the auditory learners as well, and it's good in the right. Because you can say a lot more in a minute than if you actually write it down. So it's actually fun that people get a lot more feedback, you can have a lot less time. Obviously thinking about the audience today, I was thinking about when you might be using these. Obviously for me, speaking assessments, that's a given. But also, for other subjects, I know a lot of other subjects have to do presentations. They have to stand up in front of the class and they have to say what they've been learning, summarise their learning, etc. They need to perhaps teach others. We do a lot of that as educators. For drama, plays, music, songs and things, for AL pupils, I thought this would be a really good way. They're perhaps not as confident with the writing, but they're able to verbalise it. They're ready, that's also one of the skills that comes quickly with the EAL pupils. So they're able to actually say what they mean, but not necessarily able to write it down. So you can kind of gauge where they are there. With dyslexic pupils and pupils that are a bit slower in writing, perhaps they can get some more things for them saying it, and then you can give them the feedback as well. So moving on to the how, one easy way is just to email. Most pupils have mobile phones or laptops at home, or iPads or tablets of some sort. And there are lots of little voice recording devices that they can use, and they can perhaps say their presentation or summarise their learning, or for me, do a one-minute presentation in target language, and then they can send that to me via email, and then I can do exactly the same. I can summarise what they've done, I can give them what went well and even better if, and like for me as a language teacher, I can correct their pronunciation, and then I can pick that back to them via their email, and they've got that there. That's probably one of the easier ways, in terms of technology. Also, there's a thing called which may or may not be aware of, which is quite good because it gives a character to the people. So the pupils can change the colour of their hair and all that, which they love, spending half an hour changing their avatar rather than actually giving them the work. And then they can give it a voice, and they can do this by typing the text, or they can actually record themselves, and they can record their voice over this avatar, and it kind of, for some of the shy pupils, will take away that kind of personalised thing, and it will give like a different persona to what they've actually said. Again, building confidence, and then you can embed those into blogs and things like that, which I'll talk about in a second. And again, as a teacher, you can give your feedback via Locky as well. If you're lucky enough to have an iPad or a class set of iPads, there's a really good app which I recommend called Voice Recorder Pro. I believe it's free. But the good thing about this is it's very stable, the sound quality is excellent, there's no issue with that. It will pick up, even if there's a lot of background noise, it will really concentrate and pick up the noise from the people that are speaking. But what I like most about it is the extras that you can get, and you can set up a Google Drive or a Dropbox where pupils can collaborate, and you can just ask the pupils to save it to the Google Drive or save it to Dropbox, and then they can all access each other's work, and it's really good for peer assessment and things, but also for your feedback. They can also hear the feedback you're giving to other pupils, and they can kind of gauge where pupils are doing well or not, and why, etc. Blogs, again for peer assessment, Voki and even just straightforward voice recorders will, you can embed into blogs, and pupils can then and listen to other people's work, and they can peer assess and things. And the last one, which was the original title, was Audioboom, which is a very simple website and app, which creates little podcasts, basically. But the good thing about this is that you can, if pupils can use a laptop or a computer as long as they've got a microphone plugged into it, as can you, or they can download an app which is available on their phone and also available on their tablets. I think they just click play, they talk for a certain amount of time, or when I'm giving further feedback, talk for a certain amount of time. And then what it does is it creates a web link, which you can then turn into a QR code or something like that. And again, create like a profile. Pupils can sort of follow you, obviously strictly professional, but they can follow you and they can hear all the feedback that you give to other pupils and this. So it's a really simple way of creating that. Elizabeth, nice is my last slide, which is evidence and feedback. We've got a few head teachers in the room who've been mentioning Ofsted and things like that. And one of the things is, well, okay, that's great, but when SLT come walking through my door, how do they know I'm giving this feedback? And one of the things I do, quite simply, is just write their exercise book. At that point, feedback via email. And then if that member of SLT or an Ofsted inspector would like to talk to me about that, so what's this feedback via email? I'll explain to them. And in my experience, they've all actually been very complimentary about it. Obviously you can send that feedback. Pupils can record their WWE EDI based on that their exercise book, or like I say, you can bring a QR code. So,
as a primary school head, I couldn't help but stand there and think, oh my goodness me, 4-year-olds and emails. What a nightmare that would be. But I'm looking at Mark, who's shaking his head at me. Done, I know. But then I also thought how useful that would be actually, as primary, on our speaking and listening. Would be really good to be able to put all our children and have that ability. Right, next up, David Whale. Are you here? Come on down. Because you're going to talk, oh, more coding, oh good. Feel more inadequate then. This time using Minecraft, which should hopefully be very exciting. And now I have things to say to the minutes as well. Do you want to say anything?
Well, actually, I will jump in, take a couple of minutes. I wanted to tell you about an opportunity. I don't know if James wants to run up and talk with me in two seconds. He's shaking his head. The money for tonight came from the Department of Education, who are funding James from Oxford Brooks and people from Turn It On,